Glory to you, Lord Christ.
Praise to you, Lord Christ. To you, Lord Christ.
What's he gonna do? There's no farming gospel this morning.
Good morning. Are you all looking forward to going back to school? No? Okay. Great. Okay, I've been there, done that. So anyway. So I'm going to tell you something that not many people know about me here. Once upon a time, I was the leader of the expedition that got to the bottom of the 7th deepest cave in the world for the first time. The cave was almost a mile deep, 6 miles long. It took 15 hours to get to the bottom. It took 22 hours to get back to the surface afterwards. We had to camp when we were underground, which was quite an experience. I'll tell you more about that some other Sunday. Anyway, we discovered the cave 2 years earlier, and we'd started to explore it. And I was deep underground, and I fell off a cliff. It was a 60-foot high cliff, but I was lucky. Well, actually, the Pope says now we should call it blessed. I was blessed that I actually landed on a ledge 15 feet down from the top. I lost all of the skin on this side of my face. I dislocated my right hip. I cracked a rib. I was losing lots of blood, and I was in lots of pain. And the night before, we'd had a team meeting about exploring the cave, and we'd said to each other, if anyone injures themselves badly deep in the cave, they'll probably die down there. So I was panicking. Anyway, let's leave me on the ledge, bleeding and panicking, and turn to today's gospel. Okay, so today's gospel mostly happens at night. Jesus orders, and that's what the Greek says, he orders them to get into the boat and go sailing off to the other, rowing off to the other side while he clears up the crowds, goes up a mountain, prays, and then meets them by walking around the sea. During the night, Jesus sees the disciples are in trouble. There's a big storm. They're rowing hard, not making any headway. So he goes to a place on the shore where he can help them when first light comes. Jesus saves Peter. He gets in the boat, and everything is calm. Now, when I first heard this story, I was about 7 years old. Who's 7 here? Anyone 6 or 8? No? Yeah, there we go. And I said to my Sunday school teacher, Miss Beryl, who I've told you about before, that's stupid. In those days, they didn't have flashlights. How could they go up a mountain in the dark? How could the disciples see to go across the sea in the dark? And seas are huge. How could Jesus walk around the sea? And then all sorts of other things like that. The disciples were sailors. Couldn't they tell a storm was coming? Going out in the dark on the sea sounds dodgy to me. And how could Jesus see in the dark that they were in trouble? Anyway, rather than saying, sit down and shut up, my Sunday school teacher apparently said, let me go and look all of that up and I'll answer your questions next week. So let me answer your questions now, because I learned from that. First of all, does anyone know about the Sea of Galilee here? Yeah, go on. What? It's not really a big sea. Does anyone know how long the Sea of Galilee is? Anyone in the congregation? Yeah, pick me. How long is it?
13 miles.
Fantastic. And how wide is it? 8 miles. So it's really just a big lake. It runs from north to south, 13 miles, and it's about 8 miles across. And historians think that Jesus walked about 9 miles around the edge. The mountains Jesus walked up to be with God are on the west side. Okay, so what about the storms? Well, anyone know the altitude of the Sea of Galilee? Go on, yes?
Close to 0.
No, it's 680 feet below sea level. It's in a deep valley. So, you know, it's crazy. A sea that's below sea level, but there it is. It's in a deep valley, and it gets really hot during the day, and the hot air starts to rise. Meanwhile, there's mountains to the west where Jesus went, and they've got cold air blowing from the west over them. And the cold air goes down canyons and ravines, and it gathers speed, it meets the hot air, and suddenly you've got a storm. A really sudden storm, even when the clouds are clear, when the skies are clear. My great-uncle had been in the Middle East during the Second World War, and he told me about a load of people being sent from the British Army to make a map of the Sea of Galilee. Don't know why, but anyway, they went there. They pitched their tent. It was beautifully sunny, and they thought, this is holiday. This is good. No need to fight Germans and things. We'll just have a good time here. And then the wind started to blow. And the captain ordered them to put double tent pegs in, then triple tent pegs in. Then the captain ordered them to sit on the tent pegs to stop the tents blowing away. And then the sea of Galilee, which was 250 feet away, came up into their camp and flooded it. So these storms, even if you're well prepared, are pretty sudden. Okay, so what about the dark? That question. Well, this just happened after feeding the 5,000. And I told